enjoy. All right. We have a great lineup of speakers. They are the authors of the On Startup, the first book of its kind in Bahrain. It's a collaborative book. We have 43 authors contributing to different topics, and we have 5 of them. Each of them will be given a short speech. And then once they are done, we will have an open Q&A session where you can have direct questions to them. So the first speaker is someone who I admire, and someone who I respect. He's Amin Al-Tajer. I was always saying that I'm a Bahraini who spoke at Google, but now we have a competitor. Amin speaks at Google now. I spoke once, he speaks all the time. So Amin is someone who specializes in artificial intelligence, AI, and he contributed a chapter about that. So I will leave the floor to Amin to share with us some practical insight on AI. Amin, the floor is yours.
Thank you guys very much. It's always a pleasure to be on stage, but this time around it's a virtual stage. So yeah, thank you very much for being here. It's an ultimate pleasure of mine to be around you guys and to be with my fellow authors. I really hope that this COVID-19 thing can really finish, so we can stay physically next to each other and share stories. Okay, so my chapter, and I had to cheat a bit here. I had to prepare something really small, even though we agreed not to have any PowerPoint, but I had to cheat, so bear with me for a sec. Okay, so my chapter in the On Startups book is all about artificial intelligence. So I'm going to give you a sneak peek. If I get your attention, you probably want to get the book and really give it a read. Okay, so let me just share my screen if you don't mind, Muhammad. Is that okay? If you can just give me the permission to share. You're on mute, by the way.
I didn't get the request so far. Can you try again?
No, you have to enable the screen sharing. You already have it disabled. It's in the options. But in case if it's too much, I can probably go on without the slides. That's okay.
Try again.
Okay. Yep, it's working now. Thank you very much.
All right.
Okay. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Awesome. All right. So this is called the On Startup somehow sneak peek. So let's go for it. All right, cool. So my name is Amin Al-Tajer. I'm currently a Google developer expert in machine learning and artificial intelligence especially. You can access my work at aminaltajer.com. I post a lot of stuff on artificial intelligence exclusively. Sorry, not exclusively. Specifically for artificial intelligence, but I do a lot of stuff in cybersecurity and blockchain and other cool stuff, especially in the startup scene in Bahrain. And you can also follow me on Instagram and Twitter on @Amin Al-Tajer. We also have a lot of products and services under Infiniteware, so you probably want to check this out. I've worked with a lot of clients across the years. I actually used to work for Saudi Aramco for quite some time, and I worked in the US also. So a bit of lineup of what we have here, Ministry of Interior, Day and SDC. So this is not a sales pitch, so I'm just going to skip that. Okay, so the million-dollar question is, what and why AI now? Why would you go about AI? Why and why would you go about AI? In my humble opinion, the why can really go so far. It depends on what you want. But I wanted to bring some of the stuff that I really like here in the slides, and then you get to really work your way around this technology. So when we talk about AI, just in a single liner, AI is all about bringing some of those cognitive skills, some of those cool cognitive skills that we enjoy as human beings, and we want to give it to those machines. So this is the ultimate summary, to be quite honest. And so in a way, we're trying to bring this artificial worthy contender, to the table. We humans, we're very cocky, honestly. We believe that we are on top of the pyramid, the species. We believe that we enjoy, being in control and have everything in our hands. But time and time, every now and then we begin to doubt that sort of idea, because artificial intelligence is really gaining a lot of traction. It's bringing a lot of stuff on the table, and now we're not really sure if that case is really going to hold anymore. So this is the basically what artificial intelligence is, and what the discipline, or let's say the industry, is trying to accomplish here. In a nutshell, artificial intelligence has been there for a very long time, to be super honest about it. It actually dates to the 50s, in case you did not know about it. So we're now talking about a technology that has almost 70 years worth of history and traction. And so back in the day, artificial intelligence used to be this sort of eccentric term, but now you get to hear about it all the time. And that really happened because we had something really cool that happened across like the last decade or so. And that thing is what we call machine learning. Now, with machine learning, the idea is pretty simple. You just feed in data to a unified generic algorithm in the machine, and then you get to somehow also push the output that you want. So a good example is if you're trying to figure out the difference between cats and dogs, all you have to do is just push a lot of images, a bunch of images for cats and dogs, and you have to tell the machine every time you push a single image that, hey, this is a cat, this is a dog, this is another cat, this is another cat. And like at the finish line, you're going to have a program written for you that does the exact job. Now, if you really paid attention here, you're going to figure out that I did not talk about the implementation. I just showed examples, and the machine itself figured out the whole thing on its own. So this is the whole gist about machine learning. We allow machine to learn by example so they can really get the job done. And now this can really scale in a lot of disciplines. This can really happen in the financial space. This can happen in game development, but there you have it. This is the basic idea. Now I want to show you some of the cool stuff that are happening currently in the discipline. So this is one of the services that Microsoft has. It's called Microsoft Azure Vision API. And it's so cool that you can just put an image. And by the way, you don't have to access the website to do that sort of functionality. If you're a programmer, there's a common term that goes by the name of API. You can just basically push an API, you can push a photo using an API, and all of a sudden you're going to get all of those attributes, that are hooked up to your image. So in my case, the gender is male. Cool, very happy about that. Age is 38, not too far from the reality. And I have reading glasses, no makeup. So yeah. And all of these things are coming up just by showing a photo to the AI engine. And you can actually do a lot of stuff like that. So just, scratching the tip of the iceberg here. Now, what really interests me the most is what is called GPT-3. Now, in case you don't know about that, GPT-3 is an AI system that allows you to basically creatively write, and you can actually talk with that engine as if it is a human being. It is so good that even, I believe this is, The Guardian, they have a specific post that they've done, and they did not actually write it on their own. The GPT-3 engine wrote it all on its own, which is so cool. If you read all of it, you figure out like, oh my God, like you can't tell the difference between, the quality of human work versus machine work. So this is so awesome, and I figured that I want to share this out. Now, in terms of business, if you're somebody who's for profit, here are a few ideas. Now, the GPT-3 is so cool, and you can actually get it into your system if you own a business or something. So just think about the possibilities that you can get your hands on the second you onboard the GPT-3 system in your basically business line. So one of the things that I really talk about is having a chatbot system in your business to respond to people and to somehow offload some of that traffic that goes into your business into an AI engine that can really be smart enough to answer some of the common questions. Now think about that for a second. So yeah, as we said, your first line of defense should be something smart to really get you the bandwidth that you need to focus on what really matters at the end. Now, we've done that in InfiniteWare in our business. We actually have Coveria, which is our chatbot. So sorry for the sales pitch, but it's so short that I wanted to put it in here. Coveria is a chatbot that lives and breathes AI work. It can actually understand what you're saying, even if you use terms that are even not known in other organizations. It can pick up those nuances, and then it can adjust on its own. So there you have it. And if you want to get into AI, you can either be a business guy, but you have to understand how the whole thing works from top to bottom. And you probably want to get like your hands dirty with the code if you think about programming with AI all in all. So yeah, I just want to close on this note. In the race of business, data can either make or break your business. So figure that out. When you do your work, just remember that you somehow, accommodate for data. If you're interested in some of my talks, you can check out my YouTube. These are actually some of the talks that I've done for Google as well. So they're here. Just write Aminatadger on YouTube and you're good to go. You can reach me out at aminatadger.com and infiniteware.com. Thank you guys very much. Hope you enjoyed it.
Thank you, Amin. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Okay, let's go back to the normal screen now. I'd like to welcome all the attendees who just came in, and we hope you enjoyed this session. Amin, thank you so much. Are you saying as an author I can have an AI engine and the AI engine could do all my work?
Yeah, you're going to be obsolete in no time, Muhammad. So enjoy it while it lasts.
No,
absolutely. Time will tell, though.
Yeah, see, we made this machine and we can be better than this machine. That's what I believe in. All right, thank you, Amin, once again. And I would like to move on to my travel mate, Ahmed Al-Ansari. Where are you, Ahmed? I cannot see your video. Are you here? Ahmed, yes. Can I ask you to unmute yourself, Ahmed? All right. We can hear you loud and clear. Welcome, Ahmed, to this session, and looking forward to hear your remarks. Ahmed is my travel mate, and last year we didn't travel. The year before, 2019, we went on a business trip to Poland and Budapest, and I came to know Ahmed likes to eat so much. And he likes to read so much as well. So Ahmed is an expert on branding and marketing, and he will share with us some practical insights. Ahmed, the floor is all yours. Your time starts now.
Thank you, Mohammed, for the amazing introduction. Hi, everyone. I'm very glad to be here. I'm going to move directly to what I'm going to say because I'm afraid to lose time. So I'm going to speak about myself first. Like, my name is Ahmed Al-Ansari. I'm a media marketing and IT consultant, as well as a graphic designer and 3D artist. I'm the founder of Alansari Studios, co-founder of Impressco. I have solid understanding in behavior science and holography, stereoscopic technology, and business management, startups, and etc. So my chapter in this book is about how to think as a brand. And it came to my mind. It was like in 2017 when I started a series of articles called The Power Offs. And it started actually whenever I met few managing directors from X companies who just came to me, and they were just, I was doing some presentations, and they took me aside and told me that there are, that was very funny. They told me that there are millions of articles about branding and resources and books, why people keep on talking about branding. And I told him, so what do you know about branding? He said, branding is what we see around us. It's the visuals, it's the interpretations and like that. I told him, so what do you do? He said, I manage products and services. I go on with managing the balance sheets. I manage supply chains, and he kept on saying things, and I just told him, stop then. He said, why? I said, you are a brand manager, but you have a different title. You are doing everything related to brand. You're a brand manager. And it is what brand is. You are literally a brand manager, but you are managing something called a corporate brand. So it came to my mind that even with a lot of resources out there, with a lot of books, a lot of writers, a lot of articles, a lot of papers, still people are scratching the surface, and they're not willing to get the actual meaning and definitions and the actual deliverables of what the branding does. So I decided to write a series called The Power Of, and then I met Mohammed, and he was introducing the on startup book, and I told him that I already have some article ready, and I just wrote it in a few days, and I sent it to him. And in this article, actually, I'm starting, there is something special. There's a unique selling proposition in this article that distinguishes completely what the different element of brandings are, okay? So to clear up all the misconceptions or all of the let's say, pioneer writers that have written books in the last 40 years. Because whenever we go and we read about all of the definitions and all of the explanations about what brandings were in the last 50 or 40 years, I'm not going to say those definitions are wrong, but branding is a subset of marketing, and marketing have been in a series of evolution with the branding. So what was the definition of branding 40 years ago is completely different from now. So we need a much more generalized definition that encapsulate the entire brand experience under one umbrella. So I was digging a lot, and then I just realized that there was the book that I read by Chris Feld in 2013, and he did an amazing job in encapsulating the entire definition of branding into 3 words, which he called it the 3 P's of branding, which is the promise, the performance, and the positioning. So what he means by the 3 P's of the branding? Every offer that we do to our consumers, it's a promise that we need to fulfill. Okay, so whether it's a high involvement product like a luxury car or a low involvement service like a haircut, both of them had a promise to be fulfilled. Okay, that promise should be performed well at the same time. So what I mean by this is the second P, the performance. So we're talking about planning, we're talking about designing, we're talking about monitoring and evaluating all of the promises that we are giving to our consumers. So first, we are promising people to do something. After that, we perform it. Okay, if we meet and exceed our customer expectation, and we could have reach to their minds, and that's kind of called the brand positioning, that we are positioning ourselves in consumers' mind. And this is the optimum level of what the brand should reach. So we are talking about a promise. Let me just, it's providing the optimum performance of your promise is what position your brand emotionally into your customer mind and influence their purchase behavior positively or negatively. Okay, so we understood now that brand means a promise, a performance, and a positioning. Okay, so we're gonna move forward now into definition of what type of brands are there and what those promise and positioning and performance gonna do for us. Because it's important to learn. I'm gonna take you step by step in all of these sequels so we can literally get of the and grasp the concept of each entity and each element. First, we're talking about the definition of branding. Now we are going through the types of branding. Yeah, brand types regularly fall under 3 categories. First one is the corporate brand. Secondly is the product and the service brand. And these days we have personal brands as well. So whenever we're talking about corporate brand, this is now the ACE factor. Corporate brand matches the business itself. Like, for example, what we are talking about is what exactly the brand manager does. The brand manager can be the managing director of the company because he's managing the corporate brand. He's managing everything the business does. So we are not talking now about the visuals. We're not talking about anything. We are talking about building a brand, establishing a brand, creating a startup, managing a startup, rebranding a startup. So whenever we say rebranding, we're not talking about rebranding visuals. No, we are talking about rebranding the entire product line, the pricing strategies, the logistics, everything that's related to the brand itself. So this is what we mean by branding. Okay, so this is the actual entity. Okay, and as we said, branding is a subset of marketing. So we're not talking about marketing now, but yeah, it's a subset of marketing. So we cannot say that under branding we are doing marketing. Branding is a subset of marketing, and we are already doing marketing. So after knowing the types of brand, we have something called the brand architecture. Okay, we have 2 main architectures, which is called branded house and house of brands. Branded house architecture is the type of brands that they associate themselves with the mother brand, with a corporate brand. For example, let's say like Google, okay? Google is a corporate brand which release sub-brands, which are other products, okay? And all of them are related to the Google family, like Google Drive, Google Meet, and Google Sheet. And all of them are under the umbrella of the Google itself. And they are communicating it to be that way, because there are value propositions to be considered whenever we are doing it in this context. But House of Brands is completely different. It's like an entity, a corporate brand, would have different type of brands, and some of the brands, they don't even want to associate them with themselves. Okay, so in House of Brands, we have like PepsiCo, Coca-Cola, and Unilever. All of those are like House of Brands, which most of the time, like it's a funny story. Like for example, when for example, Pepsi released Aquafina, and they don't want to mention that it's part of their brand because they are selling something which is not that healthy. And after they get famous, and you know what I mean. So yeah, that's gonna work out like that as well. Yeah, after that, after we understood about what the brand types are, we will jump into one of the most important elements of branding, which is the brand personality. Okay, it's very important to understand that we as humans, yes? Sorry, Mohammed?
Can you wrap up in a minute, please?
Wrap up in a minute? Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, it's very difficult for me.
Okay, just give us a tip so that you can end the
yeah. So I can say, for example, that I'm going to tackle the brand personality then. It's like treating the brand like a living entity that have their own personalities. Okay, we could attach those personalities and express ourselves the most. So we purchase what mirror ourselves, you know. So this is what brand personality is. Of course, you can refer to the book and learn about brand equity and how to identify different type of brand identities. And of course, there is a paragraph about how to develop the triangle brand building. And thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ahmed. Thank you so much.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you. So two points for you. I hope next time when I'm with you as an audience or as a speaker, please don't mention the word haircut, because I can't have any. All right.
Sure. Yeah, no worries.
That's one. And the second one is actually a question. Now, if we go back in time, would you rather have a meal in the Indian restaurant in Budapest or the Turkish restaurant in Warsaw?
Turkish restaurant in Warsaw.
Oh, thank you so much. I expected that. Thank you, Ahmed, so much. Now, we will move to the third speaker. Now, many people will tell you that multitasking is a myth. It never works. Now, if you want to meet someone who multitasks and succeeds in whatever she does, you'll be meeting Iman Da'bel. Myself and Iman, we go a long way back to 2007. She invited me to speak to her team in the bank, and we have been friends since then. Iman will share with us some insights. Which kind of topic? I'm not sure, because she's full of topics. Iman, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Abu Dana. Touch wood, please. I multitask and succeed. Touch wood. So hello, everyone. Good evening. I'm really proud and privileged to be with you in this summit. It's indeed a pleasure. Thank you so much, Abu Dana, for connecting us together. Although we can't meet in person, but we are meeting virtually, and this is the beauty about it. So yeah, well, to start with, my name is Iman Da'bel. It's not Dibel, it's Da'bel. I am a proud graduate from the University of Bahrain. I graduated from Business Information Systems, and then I took my MBA in Project Management, and then I'm studying my doctorate in also Project Management Offices and Leadership and Strategy from Swiss Business School. And I collected 2 certificates in project management, the PMP and the Prince 2, and a bunch of other certificates. I got 2 awards in managing projects and from the PMO Global Alliance last year. And I was called as a jury member for PMI Ukraine chapter to judge some PMOs they have. So to start with, actually, I started my career back in 2007. I was a network engineer, and then I moved to be a project manager after 3 years spending it with routers and servers. I didn't like that at all because I am a people-oriented type of person. I'm not really, routers and servers and stuff like this. So I moved to project management. And since then, I was managing projects, all types of projects and, different sizes, cross-functional teams. I met, different people from different industries. I worked with different stakeholders, different requirements, and different expectations. And this is the beauty again about it. My whole life revolves around project management. I believe that project management or projects are everywhere, and everything could be turned to a project. Starting from the London Bridge and the underground of London, ending with creating a dish of pasta or fish. Everything could be turned to a project. Raising a child is a project. Getting married is a project. Writing a book is a project. Doing a branding or developing a brand is a project. Doing an artificial intelligence type of projects, again, is a project. So everything could be a project. I remember that my first, and allow me to share this story. It's an old story, but I would like to share it with everyone. My first project was when I was in the 3rd grade. I developed a magazine for my family, basically, and I called it Marwa because my sister is Marwa, so I called it Marwa. And it has only 3 editions, by the way, and each edition will have only 1 copy that I will distribute for all family members, and they have to buy it. So that was my first project. Back to the chapter of my book. So the chapter of my book is called, as you can see, Project Management is the game changer. Why did I write about project management? Because I do believe that project management is for everyone. Actually, it's for all human beings all over the world. From cradle to grave, they can manage their projects. Let me just quote something because I really like it. It sounds like a poem, so I'm expecting a virtual round of applause after that. Well, an advocate like myself would define it this way. Project management is the art of orchestrating all the instruments to play a beautiful symphony. It's the science of dividing one task on 2 resources to produce 10 units of work in less time, at less cost, and with higher quality. It's the magic of putting everything together and stirring all the ingredients to enjoy a tasty, healthy dish. Might be fish. Okay. So, I really recommend you to buy this book and to read my chapter about project management. As one last final message, again, I would like to emphasize on the fact that project management is a life skill. It's for everyone on the face of this earth, for all human beings from cradle to grave. So study project management and try to relate it to your startup or to your business because it really has a lot of mapping and linkages. That's it. Back to you, Abu Dana.
Thank you, Iman. Thank you so much for that crisp introduction to project management. And yes, project management is for everyone. And I think all of us, we should delve into that, and that will really help us into managing the different projects we're handling. And yes, I think raising a child is a big project. Come and see my son, Ali. Oh my God. Well, my mom always tell me he just looks like you and he behaves like you, so I know where that gene came from. And Iman, may I also request another small request from you? Please don't mention the word fish. You know how much I like fish.
Next time I will make sure to mention it.
Yeah, or just bring a fish and show it to us. Thank you,
No
Iman.
worries.
Thank you, Iman. Now we will go to the 4th speaker of this summit. He's a friend of mine. We met many, many years ago. But I had no hair when I met him, but he had some hair and he's losing his hair as we speak. And I'm happy about that because the more people who don't have hair, I feel now I'm a minority. I'm looking forward to make that a majority and stop going to Turkey to transplant hair. Just live with it, accept it, and move on. Our next speaker is someone from Saudi Arabia. He has been labeled as the funniest man in the Middle East by Mark Brown, the world champion of public speaking. And may I remind you, this is a serious session. Don't make us laugh, huh? No, no, no. Make us laugh. Please welcome with me, Abdullah Abandi. Can you unmute, please?
Sure, Budana. Thank you for having me. Can you all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you and we can see you.
Okay, yeah. I'm not going to talk about hair, Mohammed. Okay, because I'm getting there. Don't worry. In a few years, maybe I'll show a bright head just like yours. So hang in there. In fact, I am a startup expert. You know, I had my first startup in 1985, and this is when I got married. Okay, so as Iman said, it's a project. Okay, so even the kids are projects. 4 little startups started in 1989, and now they are all grown up. Or you know, they've been like what do you call a startup when somebody buys that?
They are in the IPO stage, initial.
Okay. Okay. No, I think they're outside of that IPO thing. So greetings, good evening to you all, and thank you for being here in this summit. You know, with COVID-19, it's really hard to say. You could have been anywhere. We're all almost at home, sweet home, most of the time. So when I think of coaching, actually, I think of the time when I was playing competitive soccer. That was decades ago. At that time, I had a head full of hair. Okay, and I know Muhammad doesn't like to hear the word hair. All right. In fact, a thick afro hair, but I'm not here to talk about my hair. Okay. Now, it's a hopeless case to talk about hair anyway. But seriously, when I was being coached as a soccer player more than 3 decades ago, what the coach actually did was impart on us the skills and how to play the game to win. Now, he was using his experience in the game when he used to play. But very late in my career, I learned that coaching is not actually imparting your own experience onto others. In fact, in coaching, you effect change on behavior through probing, and not just probing, but also, of course, asking critical questions. In modern coaching, we say, I'm talking about life coaching, that's modern coaching. You're not supposed to share your own experience or even give advice based on that experience. So when I was thinking to write my chapter for the On Startups book, I was thinking to myself, I don't have any experience to share, except for a failed little business in the 90s. But then again, that is not what coaching is all about. Coaching is about creating awareness. It's about asking questions that matter. So how could you probe people with great minds and geniuses? We're talking about startup owners, startup founders, and leaders. That's what they are. They are smart and geniuses. Isn't that true? Okay, so they are smart and top-notch thinkers. They don't need anyone to think of them, to think for them. They don't need anyone to give them ideas. They are, in fact, full of ideas. There's no doubt about that. Then I run this thought once again in my mind and say to myself, but coaching is not about giving people ideas. It's about increasing conscious awareness So the people being coached come up with their own ways and ideas to improve the results. So the focus is mostly on the individual, even though you can also coach teams, but the focus is mostly on the individual. So do startup founders really need a coach? We ask this question because one could argue that startup founders are intellectual in nature. So why would they need a coach? They can also get feedback from their investors, from their mentors, from their experts on their team. So which is another argument against getting a coach. But let me back up a little to the point when I said startup founders have great minds and that they are smart and top-notch thinkers. That is true. Now, let me cross this with a Harvard Business School study on venture-backed startups. The study concluded that 75% of all startups fail. That's 3 out of 4. That's pretty high, isn't it? Which may suggest that geniuses may find it hard to endure the complexities of a startup when they hit it. So could that percentage have been lowered had those startups involved in the study had the advantage of a qualified coach? Could be, could be. So I will focus the rest of my talk on some of the reasons why startup leaders would benefit greatly from having a coach. First of all, coaching focuses on expanding potential of the leader, which reflects positively on performance. When you optimize your personal performance as a leader or as a founder, you naturally improve the performance of the startup. A coach helps the startup founder prioritize their daily activities for maximum performance, which in turn will influence the performance of the team. So this coaching, even though it focuses on the leader, it has that ripple effect, so to speak, and it trickles down to the rest of the team. Secondly, if you want your startup to grow as a founder or leader, you do need to have a growth mindset yourself, because keep in mind that you cannot give what you do not have. If you don't grow yourself, you cannot give that to others. So you need to commit to stretching yourself. You need to have a few goals to grow yourself and a few goals to grow your business. So here the coach can facilitate this process in which you learn leadership skills that you can pass to your team. Again, this is ripple effect at work. You've got to stretch that rubber band of yours to keep growing. Coaches help do that for you. Having a coach also helps you be a better human being and therefore a better leader. How is that? The coach can help a startup founder or leader to discover himself better or herself better. This understanding provides a great foundation for better leadership. Remember, it's not actually easy to assess oneself. It's hard to assess my own like strengths and weaknesses. You may not have that awareness. Even if you do, you may be a little biased not to see your own shortcomings. So the coach actually helps you discover your strengths, weaknesses, as well as your limiting beliefs, your behaviors, and all your insecurities. What about complexities? You see, you start up by building a product or a service. This is the start. Then in the next stages, you start building a company, which is different, because in the early stages you may not have had that many issues to worry about. Once you grow, there will be that pressure of complexities. There will be also that overwhelming demand on your thinking and decision making abilities. A coach can also help you in this process by asking you timely, good quality questions. Such questions will likely have effects on your behavior, skills, and even your own strategies. Another important reason also could be the fact that founders, they possess knowledge, they possess expertise and intellect. But you may wonder if this is helpful or not. Of course it is helpful, no doubt about that. But it could also be some kind of a curse on those founders. How's that? See, their intellect can get in the way sometimes because they are entrepreneurs. They have strong egos and personalities, so they do need to manage their psychology. They may be unprepared for the complexities of running a company. They need to realize how much they need to learn. So they need to forget their ego and start asking for help. Finally, I believe one good reason to consider having a coach is the fact that founders are likely to be entrenched in their own world and looking at the world from their own perspective. They're very entrenched. What they really need is to open up their mind to the outside unbiased feedback. They need a neutral sounding board, a sounding board that won't have a vested interest professionally or financially, such as their investors, their partners, and employees. That doesn't mean they are not important. For sure, you need to involve them and get their feedback. But sometimes you need that confidant that will focus his attention or her attention on you personally. When complex matters arise, they will likely involve every aspect of your life. Turning to a coach enables the founders to speak out about their insecurities, fear, business relationships, and personal issues. If such issues are not addressed in time, they will eventually affect the performance of the founder, and of course, in turn, that will affect negatively on the business itself. So here's just one way to look at a coach. He is like a GPS, okay? He focuses on getting you on course so you get to your result. He will focus on your potential, not your existing results, by the way. Even though your current results should be highlighted, they should not be the focus. The focus is, I'm wrapping up here. The focus is on what you can achieve, what you can be. So I hope my talk was of value to you. And I would like to thank you for listening. I can take questions towards the end of the event as we come to the Q&A session. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Abdullah. Thank you so much. And while you were speaking, I was looking for your photo with the afro. So this is Abdullah. Can you guess who's Abdullah over here? He's the third one from standing from the right. That's Abdullah, and this is the truth, not a lie. So this was the before picture, and now you can see the after picture. Abdullah, we all had this problem. I used to play football as well. I used to have a ponytail, but now no tail at all. Thank you, Abdullah, for giving us insights on coaching. And yes, we all need coaching because it helps. It helps. I can share a quick story. We in Unilever had an HR manager who was flying through the corporate ladder. He was flying, getting promotions year in, year out. And then we realized he had a professional coach helping him outside the company. And that's how he was flying. So now, last but not least is someone who I respect and I admire a lot. She's helping students, not only academically, but beyond that, she's helping startups by the youth. And she has won several awards helping the startups achieve their goals and objectives. Please welcome with me, Dr. Nihal Al-Naggar. Dr. Nihal, can you hear me?
Good evening, everyone. It's really a pleasure being here today. Thank you, Muhammad, for the introduction. And of course, I have a lot to share. I've been here in Bahrain for the past 6 years. Yes, I'm a business professor at the Royal University for Women. I have been the director, or currently I am the director for the Center of Excellence for Women Empowerment. I support and mentor and coordinate several students' activities, of course, females. And that's why the chapter in my book, on startup book, is about female startups. And I have some stuff to share. Of course, the stories will still be kept in the book. So I thought of sharing something, if I can share my screen. So allow me, everyone. I'll just share one slide that has it all. Of course, not this one, nor that one. Don't look at my desktop. So it's basically this one. So what's that? Let me share with you. It's, of course, I have to thank Ahmed for helping me in having this background. He shared some pictures, but the rest are mine. So basically what I would like to share is, of course, this is the book. This is the back of the book. I chose, Ahmed, this picture of a female holding coffee and with the book. So this was the best one to reflect my story or my chapter. So basically, the heart of this picture is, or the slide is, my role model in life and my mentor, my father, Professor Dr. Farid Al-Nagar, and he is one of our co-authors as well. He guided me throughout my life, and the first lesson that, of course, it's not the first, but one of the first lessons that he taught me in practice was gender equality. I'm one of 2 kids. I'm the youngest. I have an elder brother, and I always felt equal. He always allowed us both equal chances, equal choices in life, while protecting the youngest, the female aspect, or I don't want to say the weak. No, I want to say the precious, as they always made me feel. So this is how special I should address female entrepreneurs. And this is how I grew up to become this woman that I am today. He taught us to make decisions. So at a very young age, I think I learned a few entrepreneurial skills. We had the entrepreneurial mindset. So this is how I had the passion for entrepreneurship, and this is how I chose, after moving throughout my career in different positions, to become a business professor. And one of the beautiful stories that I would love to share with you, that after actually my completing my doctorate degree, I was going through some of my notes in my parents' house, and I found, after 26 years, this notebook that I had my name. And of course, it had the date. That's why I learned the duration. And the profession at that time was a business professor. And my age then was 8. So I was 8 in age. And I found out that I had this written down in one of the notebooks. And I had this big smile on my face, because I never realized the power of writing, the power of dreaming. Of course, my dad is a business professor, and my mom is a school headmistress, and she is an English teacher. So yes, we are all in education. However, having this clear in my mind, especially with the fact that I actually worked in different positions, in different organizations around, like in different places, government and non-government. So basically, I felt I made an achievement. So, and I wouldn't have had that except by having freedom of choice, taking some risks, supported, well-guided, mentored, but yet I had the freedom of choice. Just moving throughout, I just, like, when I share this story with my students, they actually, especially in coaching and mentoring class, since I'm an HR professor, so I share this with my students, having this clarity of purpose, knowing yourself, writing your dreams, putting them ahead of yourself and ahead of your eyes, and again, sharing it with the rest of the surroundings, because again, if people don't know what you wish, what you want to achieve in life, they wouldn't support you. So basically you have to have open communication or express yourself clearly. People can't read your mind, but people can help you if they know what you have on your mind. My moving or what I live for is basically this. These are my 3 kids. So these are my 3 projects, Iman. So definitely they are. However, since I have this chapter on women, and since I am currently at the Women University, so basically my passion was driven and I am inspired actually by this young lady on the left, which is the same young lady in the middle of the picture. She's my daughter. I have 3 kids. She's the eldest of them, Lina. So Lina, this is typical what she loves. This is the passion that she is pursuing in her life. So she loves photography. And the beautiful thing, I felt how passionate or how passion can make you thrive by looking at her. She was probably 16 at age when she first held a real camera, professional camera. And I looked into her eyes and I felt, oh, this is something that she can really live for and live by. Now she's studying media entrepreneurship in Georgia State University. She loves the photography. She loves videography. Throughout the past 4 years, I can say that she's like sleeping with her camera and with her mobile side by side with the laptop. Of course, all of us nowadays we're living with the laptop. So, but again, she loves photography and she has this critical eye and critical view. My journey was driven by growing up as a woman, and then my roles in life were moved between being a professor and a mother. I learned how to become an entrepreneur in identifying opportunities in my students. So I look for talents. I give them time. I invest time, and I mentor them. So this is something else. And of course, believing in yourself is very much important, and allowing people to see what you wish in order to help you. Be surrounded by support groups and seek help. I always tell students or anyone that I mentor, please help me to help you. So I need to know what exactly you are missing. Of course, I give equal opportunities, or I try to all my kids. So of course, because my eldest was a female, so I'm trying to put her on the right track to become an amazing woman that she actually is promising to be, inshallah. God bless them all, bless all our kids. So I give them, if I see one of my kids who having the passion for something, so I allow them to try to take risks, to make mistakes, to learn, and to get exposed, and to just try to fight for what you think is right for you, and then be flexible to adapt to different changes, adapt to different places, explore different places, and explore your potential in different places. Something else, it's again identifying your personal value. So my personal value throughout my life was like, when I was younger, I thought my personal value was change or making change happen. And then I found out that the core of it is knowledge sharing, and this would actually help more. And of course, continuous improvement is we cannot avoid it. And I love learning. So these are some aspects that made me who I am today. Of course, diversity and knowing how to adapt in different environments is very much important. So that's why, of course, I lived in both Egypt and Bahrain. Of course, other countries, but because we're here, so that's why the flags are there. Networking. So again, in the chapter, you will find some tips on how to network. Of course, we always have the challenge of networking as females. So this is my story and this is my chapter, and I'm ready for your questions, and would love to meet all of you in person. And that's it, Muhammad. Thank you. The floor is yours.
Thank you, thank you, Dr. Nihal. Namaste. Meeting your father is always a great experience. And thank you for your participation in this summit. And thanks for all what you're doing to our students at the Royal University. And please keep at it. We need you. We need people like you to inspire our young and talented students. All right, thank you so much to all the speakers. We come to the end of the speeches, and now the floor will be open for a Q&A session. So if you want to speak, you can unmute and speak, or you can write your question in the chat. If it's a general question, I'll have the speakers take it. If you have a specific question to someone, one of the speakers just direct it to that speaker. So the floor is open, please. If you have questions, this is your chance to tap into the minds of the speakers we have. No questions so far?
Hello, Mohammed.
Yes, Mohammed Al-Tajir. I think you're a relative of Amin Al-Tajir. We need to figure this out later on.
I'm not sure. I have to check now.
Yeah, we have to check. Thank you very much, everyone, for the lovely session. It was really insightful. And I have a question to all of you, actually. I leave it to all of you to answer, or some of you to answer. First of all of you guys have, and gals, have studied at universities and completed your degree, and you went to your second postgrad degrees. Is it true that schools teach us or teach you to be a good employee and not to be an entrepreneur? And what is your take on that? And how did you get out of, if it is true, how did you get out of that mentality or that situation?
Wow. Okay.
I want to go first. I have a lot to talk about.
Go ahead. He's your distant cousin after all, so.
Okay, awesome. I get the privilege then, huh? Okay. In my humble opinion, as a new parent, I would say maybe at this very stage, like in life, I think schools are overrated. And when I say school, I want to be very specific. I think having a private school for your kid might be very necessary at this stage. But to be quite honest, 70%, at least according to the research that I've done, 70% of your child's behavior really goes into the way you parent your kid. So to a great extent, it really depends on what you want to do. So it's basically like programming your kid in a good way, of course. But to be quite honest, again, most of the schools that we have, especially here on Bahrain, they're becoming more into the commercial side. And I don't want to dig deep, but let's just leave. Just want to leave you with that note. So it's a lot commercial now, like when you compare it to before. So it might not be it might not be the best choice for your kids. You have to be very picky where you send them.
Okay, that's one take. Do we have another take?
I can.
Okay, go ahead, Iman.
I don't know what happened.
It's the eco. Okay, so basically I have 2 points and this, but I have a lot of points actually, but I will summarize it in 2 points. First of all, I believe that the whole education system needs to be reformed in order for us to adapt to the new trends, to adapt to the global movement overall. On the positive side of it, I can see that in terms of entrepreneurship and startups, there are serious movements when it comes to having accelerators, when it comes to having investors in place, when it comes to having a lot of educational materials on startups and building entrepreneurship mindset. That's just to in a nutshell, my opinion.
Okay, let's have a fair
But
take.
again, the whole education system needs to be reformed for sure.
Thank you, Iman. Let's have a fair take and move on to another question.
May I? I just want to add something.
Yeah. Please go, Abdullah, because
Yeah.
you always hang around next to Google headquarters. So.
Okay, I believe having a formal education is very important, regardless of the quality of education systems within the area. But what I think we, when I say we, I mean the families, parents, need to look at also is to do that informal education for their kids, which is what they do outside of schools. What I'm doing right now with youth, I'm doing a lot of say workshops on leadership, on self-image, on you name it. You just have you need to teach them about failure. You need to teach them even about entrepreneurial skills at a young age. We don't want to limit our kids just for that formal education. Otherwise, our friend Mohammed may be right that they may not be those kids who will be focused on being like in business or an entrepreneur. My take.
Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Abdullah.
Can I add to this, Mohammed?
Yeah, please.
Okay, let me ask first, Mohammed Al-Tajer, do you have kids? And what are their ages?
Yeah, I do actually. I have two of them. My daughter is 9 and my son is almost 7.
MashaAllah, you still have a long way to go.
Yeah, and I was negotiating with their mom that they should go back to school next week because they are based in Dubai and they don't want to go.
No, I think they should go because again, this is an experience that not to be replaced by the online, of course. So God bless all our kids, Yani. The point is there is a difference between entrepreneurial skills or entrepreneurial mindset and being an entrepreneur. And I think this is there's a misconception about it. Like I consider myself, although I'm working, I'm employed, and of course I'm not self-employed. I don't have my own business currently, but the point is, I think I'm practicing my entrepreneurial skills as well. And I believe like now I really believe in faculty entrepreneurship. So we are doing some sort of entrepreneurship activities. But the point is, sometimes when we instill those concepts and values in the kids' minds, especially in early age, like first year, second year of university, 18, 19, until 23, they think that, okay, I should graduate and open my own business. I totally object. I support, but yet object, because I think there's a learning experience in being in playing different roles in organizations. You learn from the smallest role. You learn from being the most junior, first new joiner in any organization. And you cannot be just running the business second day after graduation. They need this exposure, and they need to learn from other people. On the other hand, you need to differentiate between different competencies and what you're good at. And this requires a lot of proper assessment and of course, self-awareness, a lot of coaching and mentoring. Mr. Abdullah would really be needed here. So basically, they need to know whether, like, okay, I'm a manager, I'm a business owner, I have the capital, I can start a business, I have a creative idea. Should I start the business and run it, or should I start the business and give it to somebody else to run it? So this is very much this is important to be categorized, and those mentors and all of us as startup mentors and all of those incubators should help them to do that. So knowing exactly what your competency, what you're good at, and how to continue and how to maintain successful business, I think this is the most important thing. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Nihal. That's a very tricky question because there are so many viewpoints about it. I know for a fact in San Francisco, there is the Maker School where people go and study programming and coding for 2 years, and then they join the big tech companies. So that's a 2 years program. Life is different now. You can do many things. So let's hope. I think the current generation has more options than what we had, and they should make the best out of them. Do we have any other questions from the attendees for the speakers? Questions or comments? But please, don't mention fish or haircuts.
I think there is a question in the chat room. Muhammad, what inspired you all to be a speaker and share your knowledge and experience to others? Well, if I take this question, if you allow me.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know, but that was a gene in me since I was a kid. And now my niece is following my footsteps. She likes to speak. She likes to, initiate ideas. She likes to manage projects, small projects like her. So I don't really know what inspired me, but to be very frank with you, what inspired me to carry on this is the knowledge sharing value, as said by Dr. Nihal. I really like knowledge sharing. I really like mentoring others and coaching others and, grabbing their hands and taking them, uplifting them, because I do believe that in order for you to raise, you have to uplift others as well. So that's to answer the question.
Excellent. Thank you. Dr. Nihal, you were commenting, if you can unmute.
No, I totally agree. And yes, maybe in some families you have this little kid, and I think Iman and her niece are this who likes to make shows and be expressive and dance and sing and imitate some of those celebrities, and it's really true. And here is the role again of parents to support them and just encourage and develop those skills and talents. Again, speaking in front of others, of course, is not easy. But the point, what inspires me is basically I feel that we have to share what we know, especially, and of course the more we know, I feel I know nothing, honestly. I feel I still have to learn a lot. And just being here, I feel I'm learning much. So yes, I think unless you speak and you are spoken to, you don't know exactly what you know and what you need to know. So this is the value I have.
Thank you so much. We have Ahmed Al-Fahad with us. Ahmed, any questions, comments for the panel? I know I'm putting you on the spot, but I know you can handle it.
No, really great job. Great insights from everybody, to be honest. Interesting kind of thoughts on, I guess, how important education is and kind of going on the ledge and starting a company, doing something for yourself. I'll think of some questions, I think. I don't have anything top of my mind, but really great insights from everybody.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, Hamid. Thank you. Any other questions? Ali, Amr, Abbas, Aisha, Samin?
Actually, I would like to ask Khaled himself, Kai himself, about his experience with the students, like being entrepreneurial, or what exactly did he see? Because he has been a mentor, especially with our students, female students. So Kai, what do you think?
Yes. Yeah, I think what was the name Imam was saying, that sharing experience will help other people to avoid maybe the bad experience we had. So in general, we don't need to reinvent the wheel 2 or 3 or 5 times and do the same mistake by themselves. So, but obviously the people need to be kind of open-minded in order to accept experience which is sometimes obviously not the case. There's a lot of resistance in certain fields, obviously. But in general, like knowledge sharing always is giving and taking. When we started, or when you asked me to join, it was for me as well also a completely new experience with the students, to work with them together and having exchange of experience on both sides. So knowledge sharing is always giving and taking. So it's definitely enhancing the value for both parties. So this makes it actually valuable and a win-win situation for everyone involved.
And of course, I have to thank Mr. Kai for his efforts with the students. Last year, they won the Best Social Impact Award in Ijaz Bahrain. So thank you so much. And this year, we're working together. So let's see. Can I call for Amr Imam? Can you speak, or at work?
Yeah, I am here actually.
Okay, let us know something about what do you think about entrepreneurship education?
Well, I heard the question, and actually, if specifically about schools, I think it's hard for schools to just enhance entrepreneurship or even being an employee. But I think it should be part of what we call self-awareness, because one of the major things is how can you, like, it's not an easy process even for anyone to know what's his strengths and weaknesses. This is not an easy question. It's not, maybe people will be born and died and he doesn't know what's his strengths is. So by this, we may be losing a lot of treasures. So one of the things and you know that because you know that I had a program before that was specified on this one, is part of the school activities. And actually in the States, we have this a lot, and most specifically on the gifted schools. They do have sort of programs that's actually seeking what is the strengths of each of the students, like self-awareness. And once you got that, then he can join either way. Like if you have common things that between being an employee and being an entrepreneur. And then you have things specifically for someone that has the entrepreneurship skills. So if you got that, then he can have this sort of track that he can go through, and then he can, at least he knows, and this is the most important thing, is acknowledgement. If I acknowledge that I do have the entrepreneurship talent and skills, then by myself, I will pursue this. And that will mean that you will have more entrepreneurship in the pipeline. So maybe this is one of the things I think it's core that we can know about.
Dr. Amr, can you tell us exactly or share with the audience what you are currently doing in the US?
Yeah, I see I have a lot of technology people here. So my major thing, of course, is management and like specifically in investment and finance and leadership overall. But currently I'm working with Verizon. Verizon is one of the big technology company in the States, and it's mainly for telecommunication and technology overall. So I'm very near to all of AI. I enjoyed one of your speakers today actually talking about artificial intelligence. And of course, we are one of the first organizations that launched the 5G, and we're working on all of the 5G and MEC technologies. And I'm working closely with all of the big techs like Amazon, Google, and all of those companies now. And I think this is the future. Everything is being shaped under that now, like even any application or anything now, as we do now, like, you know, we're working online, we're doing video conferencing. So I think this is not, now we're hearing this term a lot. This is the new norm. So now it's gonna be the new norm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what we're all pursuing now. So enjoy watching.
we should not be watching. We should be participating.
Yeah, watching is the first step. Then we can.
Yeah. So let me ask you this question.
Go ahead.
So are you connected with any investors? Part of what you do.
Connected with what? I missed that.
Investors who invest in startups.
Not actually, because I'm a corporate person, but okay. Of course we have our investment mechanism. Like I'm supporting Verizon groups, and so part of it is where we are investing in. Excellent. But before joining Verizon, like when I that was like 10 years ago or 11 years now, when I was in Egypt, I was an investment director myself. So I was just like going through portfolios and going through investment But in my network, yes, I have a lot of people now working in the Middle East and on investing like companies, and I have people in Citadel Capital, people with Orascom. I know I have this in my network. Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. I might come back to you. I
Somebody-
have two
Anytime.
projects.
Anytime.
I mean,
As Nihal know,
I mean, it started and knew where this conversation was going.
Oh yeah. Like I saw it coming. Like, somebody's fishing for some investment.
Yeah. Well, so
I can give ideas. I'm always good in giving ideas. So yeah, that's I enjoy that. So yeah, you're welcome.
We all love ideas.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Nihal, for inviting Amr to attend with us, and I'm happy to see Alia Al-Mahrous also with us. So, Alia, do you have any comments, questions for the panel? It's your chance. Alia, maybe she's away from her screen. That's all right. Any other questions, comments for the panel? Remember, this is a free. You don't have to pay anything. Ask a question, get an answer. That's what we do.
You can really tell you're a CFO, huh? You can really tell you're a CFO.
Okay, I wanted to comment on Abdullah Abandi because he was talking about the education and talent and whether we need education or not. And Abdullah, I have to tell you this in front of everyone over here. I admired what you did to your kids, mashallah. They are all graduated from top US universities. And when I say Abdullah was hanging around Google headquarters, his eldest daughter was there in Stanford. So, and that's only one university name I can remember. The rest also, they have done fantastic for themselves. And Abdullah, what can we say? You have made your project management for these talented kids is like this.
Thank you, Mohammed. But you don't know how much money I have in the bank now.
It's okay. Money comes and go, but you know, kids, we can't say that about them.
Okay, I have one in Colombia, in New York.
Yeah.
The last one.
Yeah.
So all the best.
Yeah. Inshallah. She was a very young girl when I met her, and now she's in university. That's how we grow up or we grow old. I don't know what to say. All right. I think.
Can I introduce another guest with us, Miss Aisha?
Yes, Aisha.
I support female entrepreneurs. So we have Aisha just came to Bahrain, and I met her like 2 weeks ago. Aisha, can you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, go ahead, Aisha.
Hello, Assalamu alaikum, everybody. I'm really, actually, it's quite an honor to be involved in such a experienced panel because I'm still starting out on my journey, in my career journey. So I have done Bachelor's of Technology in Engineering, Computer Engineering, and I have an MSc in Data Science from Heriot-Watt University, Dubai. I have just moved to Bahrain with my family, and I'm still, I was looking for opportunities here, and it was fate, that I met Dr. Nihal. She has given me quite a lot of, she has also helped me a lot. I've met her twice since I've come here, and she has been quite helpful, and she also gave me quite a lot of contacts that I really appreciated because I'm brand new over here. I have not been to Bahrain before, although I have lived in Dubai all my life, but this was new to me. And especially all of your experiences, all of these things that you've shared, I feel like as if I've been exposed to something that I probably should have been exposed to quite a long time ago, which is something that I believe that our education system lacks. Like they teach you science, they teach you math, but they don't teach you like these basic skills. Like how do you apply those things when you are actually out there and you've actually, come across from your bachelor's, from your master's, and now what? That's the question. Do you just go for a job, or do you do something else with it? So that is something that I believe that if I had known some of these things, or maybe if I had a coach like Mr. Abdullah had also shared. Maybe I would have also like I told Dr. Nihal, like everybody has an idea, right? Today, everybody has an idea, but not many people are able to go through with it. As somebody had mentioned, 75% of the startups fail. So I completely agree with that, because I also tried, but then I had funding issues, I had some other issues, and I realized that yes, there is a lot of there's multiple steps that you need to take. So thank you all very much. It was very insightful, and I really appreciate all of you to share your experiences with young people like us. Thank you so much.
You're most welcome, Aisha.
Aisha is really good in statistics and analytics, and she's done a great job, but she's a bit humble to present that. So I'll profile with you and use her. You can use her for now.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Aisha, for attending. I also would like to highlight the fact that both myself and Mohammed Al-Tajer, we are a Unilever alumni, and Mohammed Al-Tajer is one of the best marketing and branding experts that I've known. And at one stage, he was the marketing director of Citibank, responsible for a very small geographical area: India, Pakistan, Middle East, and Africa, I think. Yeah, very small. I think 1 point something billion. So we have Mohammed Al-Tajer. He's very, very well experienced in different industries. I think it's time to wrap up. May I ask the speaker, just give one last tip, one parting tip. Who would like to start? I know I put you on the spot again. Let's see.
I can start.
Yeah, go ahead.
One final tip. This book is worth it, and you have to buy it and you have to read it from الجلدة to الجلدة على قولتنا, from end to end. So yeah, you will find a lot of insights, you will find a lot of tips, you will find a lot of ideas. Just go ahead and buy that book.
Well,
thank you so much. Thank you for being with us today. Thank you, Abu Dana, for organizing this.
That was a very smart tip, Iman. You tricked us. Yeah, the tip is to buy the book. Yeah, that's a good tip. All right, who's next?
Yeah, I just want to say something. We all go through a lot in life, whether as students or as employees or as startup founders, leaders. There are times when we sometimes hit obstacles and maybe hit a plateau. We don't move forward, we just get stuck. I think all of us need to think of this coaching thing. We should not be shy from touching base with someone who could help us go through the roughs of life. So that's just my last tip here. Thank you.
So reach out.
Yeah.
Okay, who's next? Ahmed?
Yeah, actually, it's not going to be a tip exactly. It's going to be a response to Mohammed Al-Tajer for his first question. We are in the process of writing a paper about improving innovation in Bahrain. It's me and Professor Chris Coates, one of the co-authors of One Startup as well, and the marketing guru Hassan Al-Mahsan. And it's based on the series of articles I wrote last year. It was improving 6 factors of improving innovation in GCC. I recommend Ahmed Al-Ansari to go to Alansari Studios, to the blog section, and go to factor 3 and factor 4, which will be completely clarifying his doubts regarding education system and how we can literally improve the system and generate a better next generation. Hopefully generation Alpha gonna be better than generation Z. Yeah.
Okay, Ahmed, thank you so much. You gave me an idea. How about this? Because I have the contact details of all the attendees. If each of you gives me a link to an article that you wrote, I will share it with the attendees so that they can find more insights from you online as well. Yeah, please do that. All right, who's next? We have now Dr. Nihal and Amin. Amin, I'll leave you to last. You know, AI starts at the beginning of the talk. We'll make you the last one to end the talk.
Awesome.
Dr. Nihan?
Okay, so basically, of course, for females, it's always about balance. So again, believe in yourself, follow your inner compass, try to balance, but while doing that, please enjoy and cherish every moment. Surround yourself with positive people, but you have to be self-motivated. Don't rely on anyone to inspire or motivate you. You have to do it yourself or else. So good luck. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Amin, last but not least.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to talk for a while, so you guys be happy. Okay, so my final thought is the following. Technology and change is, I mean, they're just inevitable. Just deal with it, be it in the business or in your professional, in your personal life. So that's my 2 cents.
Thank you. That was so crisp. I think I'd like to end this summit by saying something that Abdullah has alluded to when he said, when you are facing difficulties or challenges, reach out to coaches or mentors to help you out. And I think that's one of the best things that you can do in your life is to reach out to other people. Because when two brains sit together, the possibilities are unlimited. I talked briefly about 2 projects that involve blockchain technology earlier. And this is because I met someone. We were having preparatory sessions last night, myself and the speakers, and I told them about this. Sometimes you are from one area, one geographical area, or from one country, but you cannot see the opportunities that your country present to you. It takes an outsider to tell you about these opportunities. So reach out, because you never know what happened next. Thank you so much for attending. This is the first series in the Accelerate Academy series. Next month, we will have a summit on women success. So please be there. We will share more insight with you from the book, Women on Success. Thank you so much. God bless you, and see you soon. Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you, speakers. Thank you, Kai. Ahmed Al-Tajer, thank you for attending. Samim, Ria.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone.
Kai.
There is no group picture?
We took before you knew it.
Ah, very smart.
Yeah.
Gute Nacht. Gute Nacht.
Yeah. Thank you. Dankeschön.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mohammed. Thank you. And your group.
Mohammed Al-Tajer, I think you speak Dutch, right? Do you?
Yeah, just a little bit, and I forgot most of it. It's a long time.
Yeah, too bad, too bad.
Kein Problem. ما في مشكلة. I can teach you.
Yeah. Alles klar.
Wunderbar. Dankeschön.
I know Dankeschön and Tschüss and Guten Tag.
Yes. And gute Nacht. How gute Nacht.
And Wasser and Wasserfall and Ananas.
And beer, maybe, because beer is in both languages, same.
Yeah, it is. Well, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.